Alright, this is going to be a weekly recap from the 21st of February to the 24th. There was no trading on the 20th because it was President's Day, and this is actually the second time I'm doing this because I realized that after I finished this weekly recap, the mic was not working. It just wasn't plugged in all the way, so unfortunately, I'm going to have to redo this with my voice that's kind of dying and also 12 a.m. But let's just go ahead and go over this. It's not many trades. It was actually, even though I have 4 trades, only 3 actual trades would happen with this one. As you can see, I was in and out of it in 5 seconds, and that was because I was trying to buy LLAP, which is this trade, and this one I accidentally bought. It just had the wrong one that I bought, and I got out of it quickly. So only 3 trades really, and this one did not work out. Let's look at the first one, which is AMAM on the 21st, which, yep, I have already saved. And this one was nice because it had a gap up, it consolidated, and didn't go back to where it came from, and it started another run up. This is the 21st. I was in at 947 at 395, and this was a bull flag VWAP hold. So let me just zoom in from right here. I was in it right here. Pretty good entry. I can't believe my voice is already dying. Essentially, I traded it because it had a super nice uptrend and it sold off, but then it held VWAP, so it wasn't just a bull flag. It was also holding VWAP. Super nice breakout past this 370-ish level with a potential for it to move much higher, which it did do here very nicely, as high as the 540s. I got out the next minute like a loser. My average was 410, and I got out right here because I didn't like how it broke past the range and everything. Even got above the day high, but then it just made a wick and it came all the way back down, and I sold for that reason. But what I should have done was, as you can see, this trend line from when I traded it, should have stuck to this trend line, this uptrending trend line, and I shouldn't have sold unless it either broke it, which it did right here, or when it officially opened a candle past the uptrending trend line, which is right here, and I would have had a much better sell. Let's just see what a sell at 448 would have been, because I actually could have done something like that. Yeah, it would have been a nice percent gain, and it did get to the 540s, which is a super massive percent gain, best case scenario, I guess. But I think it was fine if I were to have sold some here, but I should have held until the trend line broke, which I did do nicely with this trade right here. Let's look at the one setup that didn't work out, LLAP on the 22nd. Right here, very sketchy stock. I didn't like the way I ended up trading. Another gapper, but this one was just very manipulative, I think. Just not my style. I was in at 1015 at 280, and this was a resistance and VWAP breakout. So let's look at that. 1015 was right here at 280, and you can see how VWAP is here. I didn't realize this till later, but E-Trade just doesn't give accurate VWAP charts. And VWAP was 280, and then it was also a resistance level after having this inverse head and shoulders. I thought it was just like a double breakout. Instead, it was just a round number, I guess, resistance breakout, and it didn't end up working here. But as you can see, it did actually, break above 280 and VWAP here, and it made a nice move later. So I was on the right track, but it didn't work out. It did later. I got out of this one 16, 10, 16 at 275. And what happened was is that I think I had an uptrending trend line from here to here, and then I gave it an exception, and I kind of just held on to this one. But then when it was breaking this range low, I got out, and it just came back. But it eventually failed and sold off with this candle, and then it worked out later. So, yeah, I was on the right track. It just didn't work out here, and I need to keep in mind where the actual VWAP line is, which is accurate here on TD Ameritrade, but you know, can be off on E-Trade. Let's look at the last trade, which is TMBR on the 24th. 24th is here, the first big green candle. Super nice. This one worked out a lot better. And let me remove these trend lines, but yeah, this was a setup I took later in the day, although I had a super nice morning spike, and I like how I traded around VWAP. This was a buy at 1137 at 284, which was a very nice buy because it was right here, right before it really blew up. And I did better selling this one. And this was a move towards high day breakout. So why did I get in this? I liked it because first green day, I like how I regained above VWAP and it was dropping towards VWAP and it held it. And then it looks like it was starting to make a move higher. Ideally break this 290-ish level and then make a move towards the round number of $3. And then best case scenario, which ended up happening here, get above $3. And this one was super cool, very profitable. And I did sell 1145, my average being 303 right here, 303. So right here was my average, and I like the way I traded it, and I had good sells. Let me see if I have it. Yeah, I had a whole bunch of sells, but I think I'm good with the way I traded it overall. But the thing that I really liked the most about it was that if I did this with the first trade, I would have been much more profitable, but I did do it here. I did draw a trend line, and I gave it a little bit of an exception right here when it opened past it, just because I've seen it do stuff like that and then work out, which ended up being the case here. I didn't sell until at least my last piece, until it opened a candle past the uptrending trend line, which I did right here, and then as you can see, it did just continue to sell off, and you know, it did like actually, you know, hold on to this level and then kind of make another run up. But this was a nice move right here. This was a big player right here. That's it for this weekly recap. And yep, the microphone is still working. Lessons for this week: keep in mind where VWAP is. Do not sell your position if it's working unless it breaks an uptrending trend line, and don't accidentally buy the wrong stock. I think that's it for this weekly recap and my voice. That's all I got. And yeah, ideally I can try to do better and maybe have more trades than just 3 setups.